Good evening, my name is Katarzyna Nowicka and welcome to Poland Daily News. The Polish Ministry of Health has reported about subsequent coronavirus infections. Since the outbreak of the virus, 1,481 infections have been noted in Poland, and the virus has taken the lives of 17. At 3 p.m. today, the Ministry of Health informed about 92 infections with the SARS-CoV-2. In total, 1,481 individuals have fallen ill due to COVID-19 in Poland, and 17 have died. Deputy Minister of Health Sławomir Gadomski has no doubt that the epidemic in the country is not over yet. In an interview with Radio Z, he stated that Poland is ahead of the peak of the disease and the number of cases will be increasing. The next 2 weeks are to show this. He added that the introduction of a state of natural disaster is not being considered at present. Members of the Polish Parliament adopted the economic anti-crisis shield this morning. Although the Senate has until Tuesday to work on the law, Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki called for its completion today. Marshal Grodzki replies that the Senate will meet as soon as possible.
This crisis came to us completely unexpectedly. No one in the world insured themselves against the coronavirus, and no one in the world was preparing for it. Such epidemics happen very rarely, and this one, unfortunately, happened to us, Poles, too. Therefore, in responsibility for the Polish state, for the Polish workers, I ask you to vote in favor of this anti-crisis shield. I believe that thanks to this, provided we vote it in, we will be able to save many jobs. We will also do everything we can to propose further solutions in the next few days to protect the Polish economy against this difficult time, which is unfortunately approaching. We are doing everything to prevent job losses and bankruptcies. I would like to ask the Senate to vote as soon as possible if the Sejm votes in favor of the anti-crisis shield, which I deeply believe in. I have decided to accelerate the work of the Senate as much as possible. If we receive the documents from the Sejm on Saturday evening, there will be committee meetings on Monday morning and a plenary session of the Senate in the afternoon.
A session in the Sejm, which began on Thursday, lasted until late at night from Friday to Saturday. An amendment was adopted to the Act on Special Solutions related to the prevention and eradication of COVID-19 and other infectious diseases, as well as crisis situations caused by them. The new election code stipulates that those subject to compulsory quarantine or isolation at home on the day of voting, as well as those who are 60 years old on election day, will be able to vote by correspondence. In the latest survey of the Estimator Polster for dorzeczy.pl, the Law and Justice Party could count on the support of more than 44% of voters, and the Civic Coalition is noting further losses in terms of responder support. If the Polish parliamentary elections were held today, the United Right could count on the support of 44.3% of respondents, which is a rise of 2.3 percentage points than in the survey conducted 2 weeks ago. The Civic Coalition would receive 22.9%, which is a drop of 2.4 percentage points. 15% of respondents would vote for the left, which is a drop of 0.2 percentage points than in the previous survey. The Polish People's Party, together with the Kukiz 15 movement, would cross the electoral threshold with 12.3% of support. The Confederation would receive 5.2%, also crossing the electoral threshold. In terms of the mandates, the Law and Justice Party would win 240 seats, which is a rise of 5 than after the 2019 elections. The Civic Coalition would win 101 seats, which is a drop of 33 mandates. The left would have 63 representatives in the Sejm, which is a rise of 14 than in the autumn elections. The Polish People's Party would gain 22 seats and have 52 in total. The Confederation would only have 3 representatives, 8 seats less than in the previous survey. Total voter turnout would be 45%. Italy, the first European outbreak, continues to suffer the most in terms of casualties, as nearly 1,000 people died in the last 24 hours alone. This was the most tragic day since the outbreak.
The pandemic has been ravaging Western European countries for weeks now. In Italy alone, almost 1,000 people died of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. Over 86,000 Italian citizens are infected. The bodies of most of the dead are burned in crematoria. However, in the city of Seriate, the local church of St. Joseph was opened so that the victims of the epidemic could be buried with dignity. In our church we offered 80 places for the coffins we are housing. In these 2-3 days, 90 coffins have already passed through here. 45 have already been transferred and others will be transferred today to the crematoria of other provinces so that they can be buried in an adequate way. Spain is the most affected by the coronavirus epidemic alongside Italy. According to the latest data, over 72,000 people are infected and nearly 6,000 have died. The Spanish Civil Guard continues to disinfect nursing homes, railway stations and prisons. 6 companies supplying food in Barcelona have undertaken an initiative called Delivery for Heroes, which provides food to all those who are in the front line of the fight against the pandemic. Every day we make dinner or lunch for 200 people, 200 health workers in this case, in different hospitals in Barcelona. Today is our 11th day and we have been in more than 10 hospitals. We are very happy, the feedback is fantastic, super grateful. On Thursday, the United States overtook China and Italy in terms of the number of people infected with COVID-19. There have been over 115,000 confirmed infections, making the US the main focus of the global pandemic alongside Western Europe. In view of the scale of the threat, American hospitals are in dramatic need of additional beds and ventilators. President Trump announced that within a month the situation will greatly improve and the necessary ventilators will be manufactured by American companies.
In the next 100 days, well, first of all, we've already delivered thousands of them, but within the next 100 days we will either make or get in some form over 100,000 additional units, and I guess to put it in other words, in the next 100 days we'll receive over 3 times the number of ventilators made during a regular year in the United States.
The most difficult situation is in New York City, where the number of infected people is the highest and continues to grow rapidly. The total number of infected in the city rose to 29,158, up by 2,461 overnight.
That's all for tonight. Now on to Poland Daily Business with Aleksander Wierzejski and his guest. Good night.